So this is a mid-ranger, budget one, and this is a flagship, a 3-year older flagship. But then what's the similarity, why I'm comparing them? Well, there are two reasons. One, I have these two phones to compare, and the second one is actually the big one. They are selling almost the same price. So if you crash into this idea of choosing an older flagship over a newer budget mid-range device, then this video is for you. And before doing this critical comparison, I'm gonna show you two things. One is this. And I haven't interrupted you because this is important. If you like all the photos that I took, like how they came out and every single thing about them or certain things about them, then there is only one winner between these two. The one thing you can't actually deny that having 5 great sensors can really beat 2 average sensors any given day. And that's the story here. A 108 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, a 10 megapixel 3x camera, a 10 megapixel 10x camera, and also a 40 megapixel selfie shooter. All of that plus Samsung's tuning, and then there is the Snapdragon processor, a flagship processor, even if it's 3-year old at this point. The ISP, the camera hardware, and the software, all of that make this phone a camera king. Even if you compare it with any other mid-ranger in this price point. Because nothing comes close to this. Even it can shoot 8K 24fps videos too. Whereas this Nothing phone, it has 50 megapixel main camera, 50 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, yet it never be able to deliver anything close to this. Not at all. But then there is the second thing that I was talking about. And that is battery charging and efficiency. Now this is another big thing that might make or break the deal for you, because the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra was never famous for battery life or efficiency or even the charging speed. But if you place the S23 Ultra instead of this S22 Ultra, then it will be a different story for the efficiency and the battery game. But the Nothing phone has crazy insane charging capabilities. It may be limited to 45 watts or so, but the way it charges is insane. I have charged both of these devices with the same charger, yet I can predict every single time the Nothing phone will be really quick to charge to 80%, a good healthy 80%. This Samsung specifically, no. But then also the battery life isn't the best on the Samsung either, because the chip isn't efficient. The battery life is on an average will give you 5 hours or 5 or 50 minutes of screen on time, whereas this Nothing phone can easily give you close to 8, 9 or even 10 hours. So under the heavy pressure, it's still 8 hours. That's way more than the Samsung. That doesn't mean Samsung has the worst battery life, it is unusable. No, not really. It's a Snapdragon variant and I still have a good enough battery life out of it every single day. But the Nothing phone is a clear winner. So now, if you don't want to watch the rest of the video, you have to choose between these two things. You want the best camera hardware and you can compromise a little bit on the battery, then you know that answer. But if you don't want to do that and clearly you want battery life, the charging capabilities and the efficiency out of it, more so than the camera, then you also know the answer. It's the Nothing phone 2A that will satisfy you the most. But that's not the whole story though. There are many other things to consider. Like there are two cool things, like the S Pen is there, which did help me design this whole studio that I'm sitting in and working on it. And in everyday day-to-day life, it is just like a pen on a paper, even though it's S Pen on a glass, but it just feels something different. It is one of the best things of this phone. And it surely is a big deal for me. On the Nothing phone, you have the glyph lights, which may or may not be that important and may seem gimmicky, but I think they are cool. Now, you might be thinking, how do you differentiate these two phones? Because they look very much flagships from the front. Yes, they are. Like the Nothing phone has 1 to 120 Hz AMOLED panel with 1300 nits of peak brightness, Corning Gorilla Glass 5, always-on display, everything, even clean and symmetrical bezels. So you're not almost missing out on anything in the display department. I'm gonna say that. Maybe the Dynamic AMOLED 2X panel is better, 1750 nits is also better on the Samsung. The resolution is also better, 1440p versus 1080p only. The Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus is better. By just looking at them or using them every single day, because there is no difference in the color saturation or color reproduction or anything like that, then what's the flagship display? They are just similar. I'm gonna say that. And then you have the other side, I mean like literally the back side or literally the sides. And that tells you a different story. The Nothing Phone is a pure plastic build. Even the rear transparent back is actually plastic. And then there are the quirky things inside. On the Samsung, it's glass. It's very high-end glass with the same Corning protection. And you have the aluminum rails that are just utterly sexy looking. And I'm not still talking about the design though. In the design department, the Samsung's boxy design is just a mind-bogglingly beautiful design. I mean, this just stands out in the crowd like crazy. It's just a beautiful phone. The Nothing Phone is more of a generic phones nowadays. Now, another area is a very key area. It's the processor, the RAM and storage. In this department, Samsung is still again a winner overall because it's a flagship. It was a flagship. It still is a flagship. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 might not be as efficient, but it can kill the Dimensity 7200 Pro, the 4nm chip, any given day, any given point. There is no deficiency in the performance department in the Samsung at all. I have never felt it over all these years. Whereas the Nothing Phone will struggle here and there. Even when you take a photo, it takes time to process on the Nothing Phone, the HDR processing. Whereas the Samsung, it's instant. And there are so many other places where you're going to see that. Whether you play a game or switch between apps or do a lot of stops, the Nothing Phone might struggle. The Samsung won't at all. Same goes for storage. In my case, the base model had 256GB of storage and 12GB of RAM. Whereas the Nothing Phone, 128GB and 8GB. And these all things are slower on the Nothing Phone versus the Samsung, which you're not going to notice that much, but sometimes these tiny things add up quite a bit. But one area where I can't really say the Samsung is good is the speakers. They are tinny and very flat kind of sounding one. They're not good. The Nothing Phone, though, doesn't have any headphone jack to make it a better deal, but it still does have almost the same or somewhat better than the Samsung in terms of speakers. Even the Type-C is USB 2.0 compared to USB Type-C 3.2 on the Samsung, which if you're transferring a lot of heavy files, you're going to notice it. Otherwise, you will never notice it because both of them support OTG functions. And the Samsung has DeX. That's a pro, very big pro. If you're doing anything productive on the phone or on the go, you need that. Like you want to browse something on Chrome and you forgot your laptop, the Samsung might come in handy very much. Nothing Phone won't be able to do that. But that's a very specific case for a very specific amount of people. Not for everyone though. But as I said, the tiny things add up sometimes. By the way, I didn't talk about the IP68 because I haven't tested out that feature on either one of these devices. But in case you are thinking, the Samsung has IP68, which is way better than the IP54, the splash-proofing one on the Nothing Phone 2A. But that is not a big deal when you consider that you're buying an older flagship, so that is already used one in the market, and that might not have that kind of seal anymore, so it might not be as much resistant anyway. And I'm not talking about the software update for only one big reason, even though the Nothing Phone will be a winner in this case because it will have more software updates compared to Samsung. Not by that much, it's just 1 or 2 updates maybe. But if you continuously update your phones, there are very big chances that your phone will have green lines on the screen. And this is not something that I'm just saying it. This is something that many other people, those who have done it, saying it. And talking about the softwares, there is one big thing. The One UI versus Nothing OS. This is where things are different. Basically, they are two Androids, but because of these operating systems, at least the skins, they become way more capable than a stock Android device will ever be. So Samsung has so many customizations. Samsung is more stable in terms of operating systems. So many things are great in it. Nothing Phone might not be as good as that, but I'm saying it in my day-to-day life usage, I don't feel like it. I feel that maybe it doesn't have the Galaxy Store, maybe it doesn't have this good luck, okay, but certain things are just so unique in it, like the quick tiles on the lock screen, or this monochromatic icon pack built in, or the app locking feature on the Nothing Phone. I'm jealous of it, even though both of these phones are mine, but I'm just saying it. People might say that One UI is more mature and stable and whatever compared to the Nothing OS, but I don't see instability in Nothing OS, or I haven't seen that much unnecessarily useless features on the Nothing OS. There are few, but like the clip features and stuff like that, but other than that, there are so many things that are really, really helpful, and I love it. By the way, I don't give a damn about this AI things on phones, so I'm not gonna touch on that at all. If you try to unlock these two devices, you might get frustrated sometimes on the Nothing Phone because it is using an older or a cheaper technology, whereas this older Samsung phone is still using the very latest and top-end technology, the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. It's still way better and way more faster and way more secure than the Nothing Phone 2A's optical one. You know what? The Nothing Phone 2A also has another flagship feature, and that is the haptics. The haptics are actually way too good on the Nothing Phone 2A. It's just surprising. But is it better than the Samsung? No, maybe not, but you might not be able to differentiate between them. It's just so good. So ultimately, I'm not here to tell you which one you should go for, but I've given you the idea. If you go for this, what you're gonna miss out on, and if you go for that, what you're gonna miss out on. If you ask me, I might be able to compromise on the battery, like the 3 hours more screen on time. I might be able to compromise on that because I still have wireless charging on my hand, which is something that is not on the Nothing Phone 2A. But I have an insane camera. I have something that is a unique looking one in the market. People ask me, what phone is that? What are those cameras for? But if I would have been only a phone user, just a normal phone for like calling, texting, and entertainment things, then I think I probably would have been happy with new mid-ranger phone as well, like the Nothing Phone 2A, rather than getting an older flagship that is also used in the market. So it's up to you. And let me know about your thoughts in the comment section below. What is your choice? And yes, if you feel like you need some really cool wallpapers for your devices, whether it's a tablet or a smartphone or even a laptop, well, I have some crazy cool 8K wallpapers, stunning designs, and amazing colors. Visit my website, joindavid.com, link down below. And until the next one, bye and take care.